at the Area 51 2020 Invitational with Daniel Ramirez. He took first place, so he's going to get a spot on our 2021 team, Area 51. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
What deck were you playing?
I decided to play Infernoid for this tournament.
Nice.
I felt like it was a good meta call. I think a lot of people weren't prepared for it. I think I built a good deck for the tournament, and it worked out.
Any tough matchups today?
I definitely think Dale was my hardest matchup today. It was the Zodiac deck, just because I play a lot of generic good cards that are really strong against my deck. But kudos to him, good matches, but I'm glad it worked out in my favor today.
Nice, man. Let's check it out.
All right, sounds good. So standard, just 3 Decatron, 2 Onuku. Everyone calls them Big Daddy, and then 2 Deviati. This is the Spell and Trap Negator, and this is the Monster Effect Negator. Everyone should normally know what these do. I played 3 Patrula. It's the MST. It's a really good generic monster to get on the board. The smalls are kind of important in the grind game. But I only played 5 smalls, and I thought that was the perfect ratio because you don't really want to draw that many monsters in this deck. All your power cards are your spell cards, so I kind of just lowered the count as much as I could. 2 Seismists, easily the best Infernoid in the whole deck. When he battles, you can banish a card at the end of the battle phase. Non-targeting, so it deals with a lot of problematic cards like Dragoon. 1 Nintendo when you want to OTK, 1 Harmadic, Monster Popper, 1 Antra. She returns cards from face up on the field. This actually helped me win the finals match in game 3. And then this is a Jet for the Void Feast. These are the only monsters I played. I didn't play any hand traps. I didn't play Gamma because I figured you're probably going to lose game 1 if you're playing against combo decks if you lose the die roll. So you might as well play more cards that allow you to play the game. And I also played cards that were just as good as going second as Gamma was, so that you didn't have to play more monsters and you don't have to put more bricks in your deck. And plus it's very important for your monster gates to hit only Decatron, so it worked out perfectly for the spells. 3 Extravagance. There's only 2 extra deck monsters in your extra deck that actually matter. It's more of just space for you to tech out, and that's actually what I decided to do for this tournament. We'll get to that later. This card is Loyal. I won 2 games that I shouldn't have won because of 2 top decks for this, so best card. This is actually really the best card, Void Imagination. If you resolve this card, chances are you're probably going to win. It's Shadow Fusion for Infernoids, but it gives you a free up to 8 of 4 Nights in your graveyard once it resolves because Tiara sends 2 more copies of itself. And you can also blow up cards. It's a ridiculous card. It has been for ages. 3 Void Banishment that searches the imagination, and then it also searches the best card in the deck for trap is the Void Feast. 3 Monster Gate. This card is just absolutely ridiculous when you combo it with Lair. That is actually how I won my game 3 against David in the finals. Just combo is just ridiculous. If you resolve this and you have Monster Gate, you could pretty much break any board in Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot of people don't know that you can use Monster Gate with Layer of Darkness, because most of the time you'll throw this out first and they won't even negate it because they're more scared of you summoning Infernoids, so they just wait for your Infernoid. But then you just Monster Gate them and the game is pretty much in your advantage. 3 Tactics, Triple Tactics Talent. This is the first time I've ever played with this card, so I don't sorry if I mispronounced it. Cards like this is what makes this deck really good again, because it gives you more options and it helps you turbo through your deck. The biggest problem about this deck is that it doesn't get any card advantage whatsoever, so you kind of have to make the most of the cards and how you play against boards. But thanks to this card, you have more chances to draw more cards and get into your deck deeper and draw your power cards and win the game. So that was a good addition. So going back to how I didn't play Gamma, I actually just decided to play 2 copies of Droplet. I also main deck Impermanence in the deck, just because you might as well just let them full combo you. If you're not playing against a Smoke Grenade combo deck, then essentially these cards do the same thing, but they also help you out in your graveyard control and be able to go ahead and continue to play. This way also you don't have the driver in your deck for Reasoning or Monster Gate to get stopped when you only want to hit Decatron. And I definitely think that was the correct call after thinking about it before I started the tournament, and I'm glad I chose to play the way I did. Terraforming to search the Layer of Darkness. Reasoning, that's obvious. I played 1 copy of Dark Ruler No More, just because it's just a good card generically. I did actually play multiple copies of this ahead of this tournament, but the problem is that cards like this aren't good when you draw Extravagance, because you have to activate Extravagance first, and most of the time they're just going to negate it. So it just made this card less valuable, because then you burn 2 cards essentially, and then you're kind of down cards, and you need as many cards as you can in this deck. Like I said, you don't have hand advantage. So that worked out. Like I said, I do play 3 copies of Impermanence. Same exact reason for Gamma. So it's like if I'm going to play in the card that's going to negate a monster's effect, I might as well play Impermanence because it allows me to free up 3 spaces in my deck. And I don't have to worry about those later down the road and there being dead draws. It was really good. It helped me shut off some floodgates today. This deck can struggle against floodgates if you already used your Decatron normal. And then just the Void Feast. I think I played 43 cards today. So for the extra deck, like I said, only 2 cards in your extra deck actually matter. It's 3 Tiara, 3 Natis. Just because like these are the only ones you really use. You only dump Omega aside of Natis so you can blow up boards. That happened a lot today. It also happened on stream. And then for my bigs, I played the Unicorn, obviously. I actually forgot to play the Buster Blader, the Link 3, but I actually played Deco Talker. The reason why, I actually legitimately tested a lot with this card. The reason why is because you can make this during main phase 2 if you don't kill your opponent, and it gives you a way to protect your layer because layer's essentially your win condition of the deck, and this way you can keep it on the board without them ever getting rid of it. This is actually probably one of the MVP cards on my deck all day today. I OTK'd like 3 matches in a row with this, but there was a couple of times where I did save layer today because of this, and no one was really expecting it. Like I said, it's kind of just like you can play anything with this extra deck, but I actually decided to play the Needle Fiber. I know that's not its name, but the Needle Fiber combo, just because being able to draw 2 cards, it puts 3 monsters on the board for free, and then plus it actually fills your grave up. Sometimes like you'd be surprised how much you need one more Infernoid monster, and this puts one in the grave for you, and it also lets you link up into your Link 3s. That's where the Buster Blader would have came in, but actually worked out just having decode. I played the IP. Everybody knows what it's for, just so that you can make the Unicorn during the turn, so you have another interruption. There was a board where I ended today where I had 3 negates and I had an IP on the board as well, so that was good. Link Rainbow, if your Decatron gets Impermanence, it got Impermanence all day today because nobody wanted it to resolve. This is for the combo, of course, with Formula, and then just the Omega to send off of the Tiara. You can also make it generically as well. It's just as good. It's a good card. And then for the side deck, I played 3 Artifact Sanctum. Just because a lot of times when you win the die roll and you say that you want to go second, they make you go first the next game. That happened all day. I actually did that against Dale today. Dale made me go first because we played in the tournament earlier. He made me go first. I drew Sanctum and the game was basically over. So Sanctum is to go with the Scythe. I actually played 3 Super Poly. The reason why is because you decide 2 copies of Starving Venom. Layer of Darkness makes all monsters on the field dark. So essentially, like if you draw this in Layer of Darkness, you could clear a whole board and they can't respond to it. This card was at 1 for a reason for the longest time. And then for a card like Layer of Darkness to exist, it just made it even more broken. And Starving Venom on its own is a really powerful card because it lets you copy a monster effect that's level 5 or higher, and that could change the game entirely. And then plus, whenever it dies in any kind of way, you could destroy all special summon monsters your opponent controls. And so it kind of just puts 2 problems in one because if they want to clear it, but they have to kill it, so it clears the whole board. I think I resolved it once or twice today. The one time I resolved it in round 2, it actually won me the game. 2 Twin Twister, just a generic good card. It's good against the Eldritch deck if you play it right. And obviously the Altergeist decks, 2 evenly matched, won me, got me there in game 3 of the finals. Amazing card, blowout card against Eldritch. Never got to actually do it like on my first turn, but it worked out like I said. And then just 2 more copies of Dark Ruler No More, whether it be against rogue decks or it's against any other deck really in the format. But like I said, I did play that 1 copy, but it worked out. And that was pretty much it. I just wanted to shout out to AJ for letting me borrow cards as always. This is actually my first tournament I've played in freaking forever.
Since before COVID.
Yeah, since before COVID. I'm glad I got to be here with my friends. I'm glad I got to represent Stockton. Shout out to David, one of the best shop owners in the area and one of the best stores in the area. Shout out to Harold. Shout out to everybody I got to see. That was what was most important to me. But I'm glad I had a good experience. I'm glad I had fun. And shout out to everybody that showed up today at Area 51. Don't forget to stop by. Shout out to the stream and chat. Shout out to Gage back there. And I appreciate everybody's love and support as always.
Again, super big congrats, dude.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Welcome to Team Area 51.
Thank you. Appreciate it.